be blunt, is it the position of this administration that we should stop fixing our roads and bridges to fund a war abroad?
So, Senator, I appreciate the question. So first, when you look at the C rating, and we should be A-rated in America, I agree with you. You and I are on the same page.
No, I'm asking you about
I'll answer that question. I'm talking about
but I have limited time. So
okay, so I have pulled out a lot of the green requirements that you all didn't put in the legislation, IIJA, and I pulled out a lot of the DEI from the last administration to make us build faster
I know what you've
and
been
build
doing.
better.
I know what you've been doing, but
just so you know,
the budget proposes a flat funding for transportation. It proposes a huge funding for war. So to all of us looking like
Senator,
at this budget, it's fewer bridges and more bombs.
No,
and I just got to say that as the committee, we have to address this infrastructure cliff in our funding bills. We cannot let this funding expire and leave our communities dry.
I think it's important.
That's my point. I just wanted you to
take your point.
understand that.
Can we be on the same page? You all do the advanced appropriations, and you're melding together the budget with the advanced appropriations.
Correct, and that's what we've been doing for a number of years. And all I'm saying is that there's going to be a huge cliff, and instead of giving us a budget that helps us address that cliff, we did not get
one. The last
one.
administration didn't give you
America
a budget
First Voice is back with another hard-hitting reaction. Today, we're reacting to this heated Senate Appropriations Committee hearing where Senator Patty Murray, Democrat, Washington, gets into an animated clash with Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Murray accuses the administration of wasting time on a reality TV show, while she demands more funding for bridges and infrastructure. Let me tell you, patriots, this exchange perfectly reveals Democrat priorities: endless spending and obstruction versus real results and accountability. If you believe infrastructure money should actually build things instead of funding endless bureaucracy and Democrat pet projects, smash that like button right now and subscribe. Let's dive in. Senator Patty Murray pushes hard on infrastructure funding, warning about an infrastructure cliff and demanding more money for bridges and projects. Secretary Sean Duffy pushes back, highlighting the need for efficiency, accountability, and results under the Trump administration. The exchange gets heated, with Murray accusing the administration of distractions while Duffy defends focusing on real outcomes over blank check spending. Here's my unfiltered take as a right-wing patriot and constitutional conservative.
Senator Murray.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Secretary, you know how important the Interstate Bridge Replacement Project is across the Columbia River between Washington and Oregon. It's important for the entire West Coast, and it is really critical, as we have talked about many times, to keep this project moving and on track, and we know that delays mean higher costs. So I wanted to ask you, when you're in front of us today, will you commit to publishing the record of decision for the IBR project no later than July 1st?
Oh, I don't know that I got to take a look at that, but to the issue of the I-5, I have been wildly, aggressively involved in the process for the last year and a half. It's probably the project I know more about. Now, I think we have to work together. I think the initial estimate was $14 billion for that project. I think we have to work together to get to a number that's going to be
that is true, but today I just wanted to ask you about the record of decision, because delaying that is going to make it cost even more.
I'll look and see on the timeline. I don't know that I can commit to by July 1st. Let me look, and I can circle back with you on that timeline.
Thank you. I want to ask you about the bipartisan infrastructure law. As you know, it expires September 30th, and communities across our country are immediately going to lose access to about $37 billion in transportation funding, along with tens of billions in other critical funds in other agencies. I heard Senator Gillibrand mention these facts earlier, but the American Society of Civil Engineers gives our infrastructure a C grade, roads and aviation D+, transit gets a D. And these grades tell us, really, that we have a lot more work to do. And if we don't, ASCE estimates that American families will pay $700 more a year, 344,000 jobs lost, and our economy is going to take a hit as well. So we have to address this infrastructure cliff in our 27 funding bills, or our cities, our airports, our transit systems are not going to have the funding that they need for vital projects in actually every one of our states. Meanwhile, we have a budget from the president, and he is proposing $500 billion more for the war budget, but his budget proposal does virtually nothing to prevent a $37 billion cut to this transportation funding. So I'll just be blunt, is it the position of this administration that we should stop fixing our roads and bridges to fund a war abroad?
So, Senator, I appreciate the question. So first, when you look at the C rating, and we should be A-rated in America, I agree with you. You and I are on the same page.
No, I'm asking you about
I'll answer that question. I'm talking about
but I have limited time, so
Okay, so I have pulled out a lot of the green requirements that you all didn't put in the legislation, IIJA, and I pulled out a lot of the DEI from the last administration to make us build
I know what
faster
you've
and
been
build
doing.
better.
I know what
And
you've been
so
doing, but
just, you know, the
the
base.
budget proposes a flat funding for transportation. It proposes a huge funding for war.
doesn't.
So to all of us looking like at
Senator,
this budget, it's fewer bridges
you're-
and more bombs.
you're-
And I
you're-
just got to say that as the committee, we have to address this infrastructure cliff in our funding bills. We cannot let this funding expire and leave our communities dry.
I think it's important that
That's
we're on.
my point. I
we're-
just wanted
no,
you
I
to
take your point,
understand
but
that.
can we be on the same page? You all do the advanced appropriations, and you're melding together the budget with the advanced appropriations.
Correct, and that's what we've been doing for a number of years.
Well, it's
And
not
all
actually
I'm
what we do.
saying is that
The
there's going to be a huge cliff, and instead of giving us a budget that helps
don't-
us
but we-
address that cliff, we did not
The
get
last
one.
administration didn't give you a budget that included advanced appropriations, and I didn't either. So we've actually
But
increased the
because
money
the
in the
cliff
base
is
budget.
this year, that is why it's
No,
critical.
but I never, if I came in and told you all what to do with advanced appropriations, you'd be offended by that.
No, but
That's
I
what we
am
don't
offended
do.
by a budget that comes in with $1.5 trillion more for war and no increases for infrastructure, when we all know that in October, there's going to be a huge funding cliff on transportation that was not addressed in the
Which
budget.
I have $114 billion, the biggest base budget in transportation ever submitted to Congress. But the advanced appropriations is not what I do. You all do the advanced appropriations.
And this is a problem we're all going to face. But let me move on, because I do want to address this issue, because over 39 million Americans are expected to hit the road for Memorial Day weekend. And you are encouraging Americans to spend the summer road tripping across the country. But let me just ask you, how much did you rack up on gas during your Great American Road Trip? I understand that was paid for by groups and sponsors.
Well, this
Is that
was
correct?
a nonprofit funded the Great American Road Trip.
The nonprofit actually solicited funding from private
Yeah,
organizations.
I did not, right.
Okay, do you know how much gas?
No, I don't.
You don't?
But I know it's not as much as it was under Biden, which was $5 a gallon.
Holy cow.
It's
Okay,
only-
so
it's
just
$4.50 now.
listen.
Okay.
Americans don't have corporate sponsors to pay for their gas. And for families that are hitting the road this weekend, the national average gas price is now $4.50 per gallon. That is more than 50% higher than before Trump's war in Iran, when gas was less than $3 a gallon. And I just want to make the point, that families are seeing this at the gas pump, but they're also seeing it costing more for airline trips. The cost of a domestic flight is up 31% over last year. And they, by the way, are stuck paying ridiculous junk fees. Why? Because you decided to rip up some basic protections that gave people automatic refunds and hotels when their flight was delayed or canceled. So here's the problem. Here's how Americans see this and who are talking to me. You've been recording a promo of yourself and not working to lower the cost.
Sure, Senator.
So this show is incredibly out of touch with where Americans are. And I echo Senator Gillibrand's concerns that it really raises some serious ethics concerns about who you answer to, because the people organizing your show solicited corporate sponsors and promised rewards at each level of funding.
Not true, Senator, to be honest, that's not true.
I'm looking at your thing, what you
That's
get
not
for
mine.
being
That's
a
not- there's a memo of understanding that says no one gets any benefit
Okay, well,
for
let me just,
anything they
I'll
do to
ask you a
participate.
question, maybe you can answer it.
Sure.
If I'm an airline executive and I paid $1 million for this Great American Road Trip, what would I get out of that?
From me, nothing.
Well, look, as I said, the deck that is out there says that if you
So
give $1 million, you get 6 VIP invitations to receptions, you get to go to roundtables, you get to networking events.
if someone
Look,
from
let me just-
from the healthcare industry gives you $2 million, what do they get for it? What do you
I
give
do
them?
not oversee I do not
What do you
regulate.
you have jurisdiction?
I do not regulate.
You have
I
jurisdiction,
do not
$2
regulate
million
the FAA.
to
Let
put
me
your
just
face
say
on
this.
TV, to
You
buy
need
steak dinners,
Mr. Secretary,
to go on
listen
vacations.
to my point
That's what
here.
you do.
Mr.
Welcome to
Mr.
MAGA. Welcome to Drill Baby
Mr.
Drill.
Secretary,
Are you going to drill? Do you
please.
want to support lower gas prices?
Madam
I welcome
Chair,
that.
I ask my
Let's
time
drill.
back, please, so I
Let's
can ask a
refine.
question.
Let's
Mr.
pipe fuels
Mr.
across the
Secretary,
country.
You obviously
You have
came
not been
here with
supportive
a
of that.
book of every
You
one
haven't
of us,
supported
so
that,
that
Senator.
instead of answering our questions, you
I'm
could
answering your
attack.
question. You're asking
you are
about
a-
gas prices.
I-
You have done everything
Madam
you
Chair,
can
can I
to
have my
increase
time
gas
back?
prices for Americans and make us buy
Mr.
EVs.
Secretary, this is my
Donald
time.
Trump is lowering the cost of energy.
You are
and
wasting
you know that.
my time.
You're wasting my
responding
time.
with a book of claims that you have come at us.
Do you
either-
deny
let
that
me
you got
just-
$2 million from health care? I can go down the list here.
Mr. Secretary, that is
Amgen
not.
gave you $140,000.
Mr. Secretary, it is my
Pfizer
time.
gave you
Madam Chair,
$102,000.
I am asking to be able to ask a question here. I do
I'm
not
just
need
pointing
an
out your
attack
record.
by a secretary who is the witness at this table. That
And
is out of order.
What did Big Pharma
Secretary
get for
Duffy.
the 1.1 million that Big Pharma gave you? What did they get for it?
Mr. Secretary.
What did they get?
Seriously.
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 I want to know. I think America wants to know.
I find it
I got nothing from anybody.
I find it astonishing
I do too.
that you are so angry at a question that I asked.
I'm surprised that you are, Senator.
I am not. I'm sitting here trying to ask a question. I'm being interrupted rudely by a
About Big
secretary
Pharma?
who's here.
No,
Mr.
healthcare.
Secretary, let me just say this. Toyota, United Airlines, Shell, Boeing, Royal Caribbean, and Enterprise all sponsored your show. It is literally your job to make sure each of those companies are playing by the rule. So
Can I answer the
Toyota
question?
is sponsoring a show starring you, and it is your department, Mr. Secretary,
You
that
hate
decides.
America? Don't you want to celebrate America?
Mr. Secretary, it is your department
Let's
that
celebrate
decides
this
whether
country.
Toyota's
It's our
next recall
birthday.
is voluntary or mandatory.
No one gets anything from
Certainly,
me.
You can understand. You're not even going to
Nothing.
acknowledge that this is a
No one
bad
gets
look
anything.
in America.
It's a bad
Madam
look that you
Secretary,
take
I have
millions
gone
of
over my
dollars.
time.
I
I
know,
find
so
your answers
what
out of
I
touch
find is
and irresponsible.
there is no benefit that anyone gets. If I'm going to celebrate America 250, you gave me the ability to partner with America 250, and I did. You told me, this body said celebrate tourism and travel, and that's what I'm doing. All I'm saying is, America, go see your country.
Mr. Secretary, you're really
Families
good
are
at
a
talking.
beautiful
but
thing.
We're gonna go to
you should
Senator
recognize
Britt.
And,
that
and
we have-
businesses around this country have leaned in to celebrate. If you don't want to celebrate America's birthday, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Secretary,
But
for-
American businesses want to celebrate America's birthday. I'm sorry.
Senator
beautiful
Britt,
thing.
you're recognized for your question.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
This clash shows everything wrong with Democrat thinking on government spending. Senator Murray wants more taxpayer dollars poured into the same broken system that has produced crumbling infrastructure despite trillions spent over the years. Calling legitimate oversight or different priorities a reality TV show is classic deflection. Secretary Sean Duffy is right to demand accountability, efficiency, and actual results instead of just throwing more money at the problem. As a patriot, I support Secretary Duffy's approach. For decades, massive infrastructure bills under both parties have been loaded with waste, earmarks, green mandates, and union giveaways while bridges and roads continue to crumble. The Trump administration is focused on fixing this, cutting red tape, prioritizing high-impact projects, public-private partnerships, and making sure every dollar actually builds something useful for the American people. Democrats like Murray always scream for more spending while ignoring the massive waste, regulatory delays, and bureaucratic bloat that drive up costs. The infrastructure cliff they complain about was created by years of mismanagement and politicized spending. America first means building smart, not spending stupid. Deeper opinion as a right-wing patriot. Infrastructure should be about results, not virtue signaling or buying votes. We need to streamline permitting, need reform, prioritize critical projects like bridges, ports, and energy infrastructure, and stop loading bills with unrelated pork. Secretary Duffy's focus on accountability is refreshing after years of blank check Democrat spending that fueled inflation and accomplished little. This hearing highlights the core divide. Democrats believe the solution to every problem is more federal money and control. Patriots believe in efficiency, competition, local and state responsibility where appropriate, and holding officials accountable for results. President Trump's approach delivered real infrastructure progress in his first term, and we're seeing that focus return. Patriots support Secretary Sean Duffy and the Trump administration as they reform infrastructure spending and deliver real results. Demand accountability, cut waste, and prioritize projects that actually strengthen America. No more blank checks for failing systems. If this hearing fired you up like it did me, comment below. Should infrastructure funding come with strict accountability and results? Do you support cutting red tape for faster project delivery? What's the biggest waste you've seen in government spending? Smash like if you stand with Secretary Sean Duffy and America First Infrastructure. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share with every patriot. We need secure borders, energy dominance, real infrastructure, and an unapologetic America First agenda. Stay vigilant. Stay results-oriented. God bless Secretary Sean Duffy. God bless President Trump. And God bless the United States of America, the greatest nation on earth.